"I am sorry." Those are the only words spoken by convicted cop killer Benito Albarrán, an illegal immigrant from Mexico. Over the past 2 days, his attorneys tried proving there were factors that led to Albarrán shooting and killing Officer Daniel Golden in August of 2005. Some of those factors, his rough upbringing and mental health issues.
What we tried to portray is that, and that is in fact true, is that the man who did this horrific act 3 years ago is not the man you see today.
But the prosecution made a strong case, saying no matter how sorry Albarrán is about his actions, it doesn't bring back this officer, husband, and father.
Golden was on the ground begging for his life, and Albarrán showed no mercy. That's really, in my opinion, what carried the day in the judge's decision as well as the jury's.
Albarrán gunned down Officer Golden on August 29, 2005. Golden was responding to a domestic call between Albarrán and his wife at this Mexican restaurant on Jordan Lane. And when he got out of his patrol car, he was shot at point-blank range. And this past June, a jury found Albarrán guilty of that crime and recommended he be sentenced to death. And Wednesday, the judge upheld their recommendation.
It's the only appropriate sentence for what he did. What he did was unspeakable for Daniel Golden, and under our system of justice, it warrants a death penalty, and our feeling is justice was served.
But Albarrán's attorney says this case is far from closed.
I feel very confident that this case will be tried again someday. We have an excellent record on which to appeal. We've been outlining the issues already. I'm confident that this man I've represented will never be executed.
Ned Sellers is tired. He's gotten 3 hours sleep in 2 days. A thick layer of dead bugs plastered on the windshield, evidence of a busy week transporting hurricane victims. How many miles have you driven?
Oh, man. I haven't done my last one. Okay, from
Looking at the logbook, here's what he says. Since Saturday, he traveled from Jacksonville, Florida to New Orleans, then Pineville, Louisiana, Cuba, Alabama, finishing the trip in Coleman County. More than 1,300 miles in 3 days. And he says he was asked to make another trip.
We just had to come clean and said safely we couldn't transport him today. We have to get some rest. We weren't safe to ourselves, unsafe to the people on the bus.
Evacuees were reloaded on another bus and taken to a shelter. More than 20 minutes away, what used to be a running track is now littered with cots and blankets. More than 1,000 evacuees at Wallace State Community College. A coliseum, now a makeshift home for hurricane victims.
Now that I know that the storm wasn't as serious as, I'm not sure if this is worth it, but I'm glad to get my son out. Because, I mean, you never know what could have happened.
A decision to evacuate some I spoke with are questioning.
I don't know.
Christina Dunham spends most of the day playing with her kids outside. This mother doesn't let her eyes off her children. So when I told Dunham a man was arrested for making child porn less than 100 yards from her backyard, she was outraged.
I don't let my kids get very far away from me, ever. So, you know, I know where they're at all the time, but still, it's just right behind the house.
Deputies say 28-year-old David Adam Knight produced, possessed, and distributed child porn via internet. So the question is, if Knight was making kiddie porn, then who are the children on the images, and are they from the Valley? That's a question we asked the sheriff's office, but they didn't tell us.
My kids go to school right here, you know, and how do I know that some of the kids that they go to school with haven't been in these videos?
Images Knight's mother says do not exist.
It's sort of messy because we didn't clean it up after they searched it.
Tuesday, she gave us an exclusive look in the suspect's bedroom after police raided it. Teddy bears throughout the room and 2 computer monitors. She says her son is innocent. Do you think he committed this crime?
I don't think he did. I don't know.
When he was just 3 days old, Heath Rager lost his hearing.
It's just sometimes people think that I'm a snob because I just look away, but he says, no, he says, I'm not hearing you.
These days, he mainly uses computer or text to communicate, but even in his world of silence, his passion is making UNA fans roar. And as the school's mascot for a year, that's exactly what he's been able to do until now.
I did not get the same things as the old mascot got. Number one was the money. It was cut. Number two was the championship ring. The last mascot before got one.
And that's not all. Heath claims he was never given an assistant to help him during the games as previous mascots did, and that he was kept from national competitions and mascot camp, all because he's deaf. He also says the same person that let him on the team later held unfair tryouts.
Then the next year, he says they changed the rules. They changed it. That it was they wanted me to try it again. And I said, why? I said 3 or 4. They did it for 3 or 4 years. They said no. They went ahead and canceled it because I felt it was because I was deaf.
Heath Rager is passionate about his case, but so is the lawyer for UNA. She says she's looked in the allegations and says they're simply not true.
I've talked to numerous witnesses, reviewed all documentation, and it's all the allegations being made are frivolous and false. There's no basis whatsoever to the allegations. All the mascots have received monetary amounts for serving in the position, and every dollar amount has varied over the years. The university has never purchased a championship ring for a mascot or a cheerleader.